I think it'll work. She recognizes, however, that there are barriers that we have to take down. Yesterday, she and the mayor were talking about reentry programs for young people who get out of prison who've been in there too long for nonviolent offenses. She was the first person that really talked about that. But in order to do it, they talked about this yesterday. In order to do it. Wait a minute. Okay, I heard it. Can I answer? No, you see, here's the thing. I like protesters, but the ones that won't let you answer are afraid of the truth. That's a simple rule. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. At every campaign rally, I welcome the protesters. I had a guy in South Carolina interrupt me, and the crowd started booing, and I said, no, let's be quiet and listen to this person. I let him say the same thing twice. And I said, may I answer? He just kept screaming. Then a lady next to him said, I said, wait, listen to her. I let her say the same thing twice. I said, okay, may I answer? Just kept on screaming. Now look, what she's referring to are the increased sentencing provisions of the 1994 crime bill. 90% of the people in prison too long are in state prisons and local jails, more than 90%. But it's also true that there are too many people in the state prisons. I mean, the federal prisons. President Obama's trying to let them out. Here's what happened. Let's just tell the whole story. When I became president, the headlines in the newspapers were full of, now wait a minute, I listen to you, you listen to me. Wait. Here's what happened. Vice President Biden, you guys know Vice President Biden, whose family comes from Scranton. He was the chairman of the committee that had jurisdiction over this crime bill. I had an assault weapons ban in it. I had money for inner city kids for out-of-school activities. We had 110,000 police officers so we could put people on the street, not in these military vehicles, and the police would look like the people they were policing. We did all that. And Biden said, you can't pass this bill, the Republicans will kill it if you don't put more sentencing in. I talked to a lot of African American groups. They thought Black Lives Mattered. They said, take this bill because our kids are being shot in the street by gangs. We had 13-year-old kids planning their own funerals. She don't want to hear any of that. You know what else she doesn't want to hear? Because of that bill, we had a 25-year low in crime, a 33 low in the murder rate, and listen to this. Because of that and the background check law, we had a 46-year low in the deaths of people by gun violence. And who you think those lives were that mattered? Whose lives were saved that mattered? Now, that's the problem, you know. And who was the first candidate? And Hillary didn't vote for that bill because she wasn't in the Senate. She was spending her time trying to get health care for poor kids. Who were they? And their lives mattered. And her opponent did vote for it. But I don't blame him either. It wasn't. There was a Republican Senate, enough Republicans in the Senate to kill this bill. And nobody wanted it to die. That's what happened. But she was the first candidate, the first one to say, let's get these people who did nonviolent offenses out of prison. And guess what? A lot of Republicans agreed. They know they made a mistake. Oh. Now, wait a minute. Now you're screaming. So let's do another one. Whoa. No, wait. I want to deal with them all. Come on. No. Come on. Wait. See these other signs? This is what's the matter. I don't know how you would characterize the gang leaders who got 13-year-old kids hopped up on crack and sent them out onto the street to murder other African-American children. Maybe you thought they were good citizens. She didn't. She didn't. You are defending the people who kill the lives you say matter. Tell the truth. You are defending the people who cause young people to go out and take guns. There was a 13-year-old girl in Washington, D.C. who was planting her own photos. How would you do it? Now, look at this other one. Look at this. That's not true. Now, let's talk about the other thing. They say the welfare reform bill increased poverty. Then why do we have the largest drop in African-American poverty in history when I was president? The largest in history. What happened was all these Republicans got into the Senate. Supreme Court elected President Bush 5-4. Then all these Republicans took over state legislatures. We left them with enough money to take care of all the poor people who couldn't go to work on welfare. We left them with the money they had before the welfare rolls went down 60%. The Republicans took it away, and they're blaming me. And apparently she had nothing to do with it. And the reason is they know it's true is they won't hush. When somebody won't hush and listen to you, that ain't democracy. They're afraid of the truth. Don't you be afraid of the truth. Don't you be afraid of the truth. So, if you think it was bad in the 1990s, if you think record increases in income and record low unemployment, record decreases in poverty, and record small businesses forming was bad, you ought to go with them. Otherwise, you better elect Hillary president so we can get this country going again. And I love protesters, except when they won't let you answer. Tell them what you think. A lot of these people. Thank you. Thank you. It reminds me of when the Republicans tried to blame me for the financial meltdown. You know why they tried to blame me? Because we enforced something called the Community Reinvestment Act, which led to $800 billion being loaned in neighborhoods like this. It said if you take deposits or loans from anybody, you got to make loans there. So when they caused the crash by having nobody home at the regulatory agencies, they said if Bill Clinton hadn't made us loan money to all these African American and Latino and immigrant neighborhoods, we'd be peachy keen. They were wrong too, just like them. And they don't like to listen either. So, look, all I know is this election's about the future. They're trying to blame her for something she didn't do. So I'll tell you another story about a place where Black Lives Matter. Africa. The other day, I started my day with a picture that was sent to me on my iPad of a little guy running a store, he wasn't very tall, in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. And you know what his store said? All it was a little crass. It said, the Hillary Clinton store. Now, why did he say that? Because the first thing she did as Secretary of State was triple the number of people in Africa whose lives we were saving from AIDS by going to all low-cost price drugs. The same thing she wants to do for the American people if we give them a chance. Now, that guy just put up his sign on the street a long way away. You need a president who will tell you the truth, answer the questions, and not be intimidated by people on the far right or the far left screaming things that are not true. You just got to decide if you believe it. I'm just telling you, tell you another time she thought Black Lives Mattered. just listen. No, listen. Listen. You listen to their screaming, and let me ask you this. I got a call from a friend of mine who's been a civil rights leader for years, decades. Last week he said, did Hillary really get 93% of the African-American vote in Alabama? I said, yes, she did. He said, how is that possible? I said, I'll tell you how. When she got out of law school, instead of going to work for some big law firm, which would have really given this girl something to scream about, she went to work for Marion White Edelman and the Children's Defense Fund. And she went to Alabama, where they were perpetuating school segregation and sticking it to the kids by having private academies, taking federal tax breaks, and pretending to be legal. Hillary posed as a housewife with a kid who might want to go to school in one of these schools 40 years ago, and she said, just tell me, sir, if my child goes here, will he be in an all-white school, yes or no? And the guy said, absolutely. She had him. She exposed him. They lost their tax credits. All those schools lost their tax credits. She ended the most prominent way of delegation of vote when she was 27 years old, because she thought those young black lives mattered.